Which of the following is not a native Taiwanese animal species? There are 2 native species and 1 non-native species. A. The Formosan black bear. B. The Taiwanese leopard cat. Or C. The Taiwanese green iguana. Keep listening to Formosa Fauna to find out. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can learn all about the animal kingdom and become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan Hildebrand, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals and I love talking about them. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, you're in the right place. Try to think of one iconically Taiwanese animal. Which one comes to mind? If promotions have been effective, it's likely that either a Formosan black bear or Taiwanese leopard cat came to mind. These are often seen on packaging, in posters, and in other places representing the island nation. In fact, Taiwan Bear is the character appointed as supervisor of the Taiwan Tourism Administration. In other words, it's their cute mascot. Taiwan Bear is, of course, a Formosan black bear. Formosan black bears are fortunately easy enough to imagine if you've never seen them before. Just picture a black bear about 130 to 180 centimeters in length with a white V above their chest right where a collar would be if they were wearing a collared shirt. Today, we'll be graced by the presence of an administrative employee at the Taiwan Black Bear Conservation Association named Nia, who will tell us all about these fascinating creatures. Before we dive into our interview, though, I thought it would be nice to have a little refresher and differentiate between a couple of frequently mixed up words, specifically the terms native and endemic, because we hear those a lot. Native species, endemic species. Do they mean the same thing or not? While many people mistake the word endemic to be a fancier way of saying native, the two words mean different things. A native species is one that is found in a certain ecosystem due to natural processes, such as natural distribution and evolution. No human intervention brought a native species to an area or influenced its spread to that area. Native species are also called indigenous species. An endemic species, however, is a native species found only in a particular area, large or small. A species can be endemic to an entire continent or to only a relatively minuscule area. For instance, an endemic species might be found only in a particular mountain range, at a certain elevation zone, and nowhere else, or in a particular lake, a single river, or a small island. Often, endemic species are confined to a certain area because they are highly adapted to a particular niche. They may only eat a certain type of plant that is found nowhere else, or a plant might be perfectly adapted to thrive in a very particular climate and soil type. Introduced species are those that occur in an area where they are not native, but were brought there through some sort of human influence, either purposefully or accidentally. A common misconception is that introduced and invasive species are interchangeable terms, but these are actually distinct as well. Introduced species don't necessarily have a negative impact on their new ecosystem and may even be beneficial. The European honeybee is one example of a beneficial introduced species, as the honeybee is critical to North America's crops and doesn't necessarily have a negative impact on other pollinators. However, an introduced species has the potential of becoming an invasive species. Invasive species are typically those that thrive very well in a new environment, often, by definition, to the detriment of the local ecology, whether that be other animals or plants. A good example of this is one that we've brought up several times on Formosa Fauna before, and that would be the green iguanas. The green iguana was an introduced species that became an invasive species once it started competing for resources with local native species and disrupting the ecology, the natural balance that was in order before. That is why local governments have promoted various projects to remove them, including the whole lizard bounty that we've talked about several times on Formosa Fauna. If you're curious to know more, please refer to our other episode. There's one episode specifically just all about the lizard bounty, so please check that out. All Formosa Fauna episodes are available on podcast platforms like Spotify, but also for free on the RTI Radio Taiwan International English website. And now, on to our interview. Working in administration for Taiwan Black Bear Conservation Association, Nia has learned a lot about Formosan black bears, knowledge that she will impart upon us today. Welcome, Nia.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Can you start us off with a fun or less well-known fact about Formosan black bears?
Yes, of course. When we talk about the Formosa black bear, the first thing we need to know is that it actually belongs to the Asian black bear species. And you can find Asian black bear in 18 countries in Asia. But there is a very fun fact only happens on Formosa black bear is that they has a unique behavior. They can build nets for resting.
Build a nest?
Yes, build a nest for resting. Their nest is built both on the ground and on the trees. They will build a nest into a boat shape.
How big?
Bigger than a person.
I hear Formosan black bear and Taiwanese black bear being used. Is there a technically correct English term?
I think the technical correct English term is Formosa black bear, which is used in international research papers. But out of that, Taiwan black bear is mostly be used because it's translated directly from the Chinese.
Taiwan Heisho.
Yes, yes.
Are there any other nicknames you've heard of?
They are also referred to as 狗熊. It means dog bear.
Dog bear?
Yes, because of the shape of their snout.
Snout. They do have a dog-like snout.
They look like dogs when they are running.
Oh.
Because they run in full foot.
Oh, that's really cute.
And they are also called moon bear due to the white shape just in front of their chest.
Like a crescent moon shape. I've heard victory bear before. Is that
also
a commonly
V
used one? Yeah, because
yes,
it's a white V on the chest. As you said, the Formosan black bear is a subspecies of the Asian black bear. Other bears in the species also have very similar markings. Is there anything visually that can distinguish Taiwanese black bears or Formosa black bears from the other Asian black bears?
It has a history about them. Many years ago, during an ice age on Earth, when that times animals can walk everywhere they want, right? But after the ice age end, Taiwan become an isolated island on the sea. Black bear just stuck on the Taiwan. So they have some unique behavior happen on them. If you say from its appearance, it might be hard to recognize it. But if you can take their fur and go have a genetic analysis, you can tell them from maybe Japanese black bear because the gene is a little bit different. And also you can have a behavioral observations. You can know that they are Taiwan black bear.
Okay.
I think the food they eat may be a little bit different because Taiwan is a forest country. So they eat a lot of nuts and fruits. A lot of people thought maybe bears need to sleep in the winters. But for Taiwan black bear, they don't need to sleep in winters.
Oh, hibernation?
Hibernation, yes.
Yeah.
Because in Taiwan, the winter is still warm for them. And
Yeah.
they have a lot of food to eat when winters.
From a conservation perspective, about 200 to 600 bears are left. Is that correct?
That's from 2010's
Oh.
years numbers. But maybe we can say 500 to 600 now.
Okay. Oh, okay. So a little bit more confidence that there are more.
Yes.
What is threatening black bear populations in Taiwan?
For the past 20 years, due to the over-exploitation of their natural habitat and over human pressures, the population of Taiwanese black bear are decreased a lot. So they be taken as on the endangered list. And second of all is that there are a lot of metal traps in the forest now. I think people put that traps not only because they want to hunting black bear. Most of them are not try to hunting black bear, but it's by a mistake. Black bear will step into it. Someone put that because maybe they need on the mountains and they grow a garden and they want to avoid animal from eating their garden. Or like Aboriginal try to hunt wild pigs. It's their popular fruit for them in their culture.
So we have the overexploitation of their habitats, also metal traps.
These two are the most issues of black bears.
Your work involves both bears and people. Could you share a success story where you managed to help a community better coexist with local black bears?
My company do a lot of effort on communicate with the Aboriginal who's live very clear to Taiwan black bear because they actually live in the same forest. So they are the most important people who can save Taiwan black bear. So if someone find a black bear caught in a trap, you can directly call a number hotline. Even you are the one who put the traps there, you won't be punished by this. In response, a team of wildlife doctors will come to rescue the black bear.
When it comes to Formosan black bear conservation, how would you measure or define success? Like, at what point would your organization, the Taiwan Black Bear Conservation Association, say, yes, we've been successful?
I think you can define successful by yourself. Like if you finish a class about teaching Taiwan black bear, you can be seen as a successful because there's one more group to know that Taiwan black is not scared anymore. And I think in Taiwan, a lot of people take Taiwan black bear as a representative of our country. So I think because of the 30 years communication with people, a lot of Taiwanese like Taiwan black bear a lot.
I would agree with that. Everybody who I've talked to, I've never heard of anybody being afraid of Taiwanese black bears. Also, since I came here in 2012, I've seen Taiwanese or Formosan black bears used in illustrations and logos for the tourism administration, for the MRT, for the Taipei Zoo, for some agricultural products. It does to me seem like Formosan black bears are the symbol of Taiwan. As for being scary, I've never heard of that. Do you think that people have been maybe more afraid in previous generations?
Yes, I think so. Previous generation, they don't know that much about Taiwan black bear, so they will think Taiwan black bear it's a scary animal. Maybe they will attack people. But the truth is we did a research about that. Like we interview a lot of people who literally meet Taiwan black bear first face to face.
Wow.
And then we found that more than 60% of situation is that Taiwan black ran away immediately. They don't really attack people. In past 20 years or 10 years, they're just not attack things happen.
Okay, you said 60% of the time. What about the other 40%?
Sometimes they chase you for a little bit.
Oh no!
But when you run away, they just stop chasing. They are
So-
just trying to scare you a little bit.
So for the past maybe 20 to 30 years, there have been 0 attacks on people?
Yes, there's no news about attacking bear attacking people.
Okay.
So Taiwan black bear is a shy and peaceful animal.
Oh, like very calm, peaceful,
calm,
shy.
peaceful,
Yeah.
shy animal.
I think that is the case for most bear species. I've heard that there are only, I think, 2 species in the world that will actually maybe attack you aggressively, and they're not anywhere near Taiwan. Also, a lot of times, if people are afraid of bear attacks, I know I've seen this in Taiwan and Japan, on their backpacks, they'll have a little bell.
Yes, yes.
And when I first saw that and I heard of that, I thought it was funny because I thought that would let the bear know where you were, so the bear would come and eat you. But like ringing a dinner bell. But then somebody told me that actually they don't want confrontation. They want to run away and stay away from people. So if they hear the bell, they know to run away. So looking ahead, what gives you hope for the future of black bear conservation? And what can ordinary people do to support these efforts?
For people who living in the city, maybe you won't really meet a Taiwan black bear in your life because they are so difficult to meet a Taiwan black bear in wild. But still, you can know that these animals are literally live in the same country with us. So knowing them more, it's the first step if you want to conserve them. And then you can donate money or participate in activities or take a class about Taiwan black bear to know them more. Sometimes there is a tour you can go. There is a trail called Walami 步道. It's at 花莲玉里. So at that place, you can very close to the forest where Taiwan black bear lives. There are a label to show that be careful about black bears. And you can see their scratches on the trips.
Oh.
But still, it's still very difficult to really meet a black bear.
Yeah.
The other things you can do to protect Taiwan black bear is when you go hiking, you can clean the mountains, especially humans' food, because for wild animals, that's their favorite, but it's not good for them. And leave them a clean home.
That sounds very important. Of course, I'm also very curious about the specifics of Nia's job, and I'm sure all of you are as well. So keep tuning in to Formosa Fauna because Nia will visit us again in a future episode. Thank you so much, Nia. In a big Animal Rescue Diaries update, in total, right, this cat that I rescued off the street had been in oxygen therapy chamber for a month, almost exactly. I think it was 29 days. The vet said that she was good enough and she didn't have pneumonia anymore. So I said, hey, let me transform my very small spare room into a little sanctuary for her. And she is now living with me. It has been 3 days. In a previous episode, I said, if you pray at all, then I hope you'll pray for Strong Kitty in Taiwan. And after that, you know what? She got released from the vet. So if you've been sending over your prayers or your good vibes, thank you so much. Please continue to do that because maybe it's been helping. That's all I can say for now. Thank you so much. Have you ever had a memorable experience with an animal? Whether it's an observation at the zoo, an interaction with a wild animal, or the thousands of stories you could share as a pet owner, I want to hear about it. If you're a fan of snail mail, please send me letters via the post. And if you're more digital, just send me an email. That way I can read it on air to share with all of our lovely Formosa Fauna friends. It could be the simplest thing, a little story or a photo, and as long as it means something to you, it means something to me. It is really a joy to hear from anybody out there who has had these experiences. If you're sending in a letter, the address can be found online. Just look for the number 55 Bei An Road address in Taipei, Taiwan. If you're sending an email, send that email to tristan@rti.org.tw. That is tristan@rti.org.tw. Making it to the end of an episode makes you a Formosa Fauna friend. It's not gross, it's cute. Thank you for tuning in, friend. All animals require enrichment, and Formosa Fauna is one kind of enrichment. After all, we're all just a bunch of wild animals. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.